wherever you are. This is the story about curiosity. Now, Biz and Bertie sat on a fence watching the world. Biz, as you know, had one eye, and he liked what he knew. He knew where the best French fries were. He knew which cook tossed the biggest crumbs. He knew which human liked crows and which ones did not, and that was enough for him. Bertie, though, liked to learn new things. So, Biz, she said, you always go to the same fast food place. Don't you want to see if another one has better fries? Nope, Biz shook his head. I only like what I know. But what if you don't know what you like because you won't try new things? Bertie flapped her wings. Biz squawked. I do know. I like the fries I already eat, and I like the one cook, the one who winks at me and says, here you go, little pirate bird. Bertie chuckled. Okay, but what if another cook calls you Captain Biz and gives you 2 fries? Biz opened his beak, then closed it, then opened it again. That's impossible. Bertie smiled. How do you know? Biz shifted on the fence because I don't need to know. I already figured out how to get food. That's the most important thing. Bertie nodded. That is important, but I figured out how to get food too. And now I also figured out how to have fun. Biz squinted his one eye. How? Well, Bertie said, I met a squirrel who showed me how to bounce on 3 branches like a trampoline. Biz gasped. What? A squirrel? Bertie, we don't talk to squirrels. They chatter too much. Bertie giggled. That's what I thought. But then I got curious, and now I like bouncing on 3 branches. Biz puffed up his feathers. Humph, I don't need bouncing. I just need fries. Bertie smirked. Okay, but what if you could have fries and fun? Wait. Both? Yep, Bertie said, because I met another cook at another place who also gives out fries, but this one throws them in the air like a game. It's so fun catching them. Biz's eye got big. Wait, you get the food and fun? Yep, Bertie grinned. Biz tapped his beak. Bertie leaned in. You know what this means, right? I have to be curious. Bertie nodded. Yep. Biz groaned. Up. Fine, but if the new cook calls me parrot instead of pirate, I'm never going back. Bertie laughed. That's a deal. So Biz followed Bertie to the new place. The cook tossed a fry high in the air, and Biz leaped, catching it mid-flight. Whoa, Biz's feathers ruffled with excitement. That was kind of fun. Bertie grinned. I told you so. Biz chewed his fry. Okay, maybe curiosity isn't so bad. Bertie flapped her wings. That's the spirit, Captain Biz. Biz blinked. Wait, did you say Captain? Bertie winked. And from that day on, Biz was just a little bit more curious. But only after he got his French fries. And that is the end of the story today. So today, we're talking about the wisdom of Bertie. Remember, Bertie is the older sister of these 3 rascal boy crows. And Biz, Buzz, and Bert were perched on a low branch watching their sister Bertie up high in the rookery. Remember, a rookery is where birds go to sleep at night. She always seemed to know things that they didn't. She's so smart, Biz said, tilting his head. How does she know so much? Biz wondered aloud. She's always talking about things I've never even heard of. The three crows fluffed their feathers in deep thought. Finally, Biz flapped in his wings. Let's ask her. Maybe she'll tell us where she got her wisdom. That night, as the sky turned deep blue and the stars twinkled, the crows flew up to their favorite spot at the top of the rookery. The air was cool and calm, and all the problems of the world floated away like soft clouds. Birdie was resting, her feathers sleek and peaceful, but when she saw her brothers, she opened her bright eyes and smiled. Birdie, Biz began, why are you so smart? Yes, Buzz chirped, how do you know all the things you know? Birdie chuckled, oh, my dear brothers, I had a teacher. A teacher? Yes, teachers are wonderful. They come in many forms. Mothers, dads, grandmas and grandpas, and even school teachers who choose to teach as their life's work. The three crows listened closely. Their heads were tilted with curiosity, but my first great teacher was a wise old bird called Ibis. Birdie continued, she was full of ancient knowledge in Egypt long, long ago. The ibis was known as a bird of wisdom. People believed it was connected to a great thinker named Thoth, Thoth, who wrote on clay tablets almost 40,000 years ago. 40,000? That's a big number. Birdie nodded. My teacher, Ivy, taught me something very important. She said, if you are the smartest one in the room, you need to find another room. Why? Bert asked. Because learning never stops, Birdie explained. If I always stayed where I knew the most, I would never grow. Ibis showed me that life is about learning and experiencing. Wisdom comes from both learning and experiencing. When we feel sad or lost, it's just part of the journey, like clouds passing in the sky. Biz finally spoke. So wisdom comes from learning. Yes, Birdie said gently, and from listening and from finding teachers who can show you new ways to see the world. And then experiencing, you become wise. The brothers looked at the sky above, vast and full of endless possibilities. I think, Buzz said, that I want to learn more. Biz fluffed his feathers, and maybe I'll even try something new tomorrow. That's the spirit. As the night wrapped around them, the four crows nestled on top of the rookery. The world was quiet, they were peaceful, and like soft clouds, the thoughts drifted into the endless blue sky, and that is the end of this story today. And thank you. So today we're going to talk about how history can be exciting. Remember, we talked about something being written 40,000 years ago. Well, Birdie perched on a thick branch, her black feathers gleaming in the afternoon sun. Below her, Biz, Buzz, and Bert hopped along the ground, pecking at fallen crumbs near the park bench, even though Biz wasn't doing very well because he only had sight in one eye. I still don't understand, Birdie, Biz cawed. How can a story last for 40,000 years? Even the old food wrappers by the trash bins fall apart after 3 weeks. Birdie chuckled. That's because paper and other materials decay. But the people of the past were clever. They found a way to make their stories last by writing them on something much stronger, clay. Clay, Buzz tilted his head, like the muddy stuff we see after it rains? Exactly, Bertie said. But they didn't just scribble on it. Imagine a piece of clay about the size of your lunchbox. Before it dried, the writer would take a small tool, one shaped like the beak of an ibis bird, and press symbols and letters into the wet surface. Once the clay dried, the words became permanent. Bert flapped his wings excitedly. That's smart. No ink to fade, no pages to rip. Exactly, Bertie nodded. That's how we still have some of the oldest stories ever written, like the Emerald Tablets. These tablets contain knowledge from an ancient teacher named Thoth, Thoth. His writings were hidden for thousands of years, but only recently did we figure out how to read them. Biz blinked. So people today can actually learn from something written thousands of years ago? Yes. And you don't even have to dig in the ground to find these stories anymore, Bertie said. With a little curiosity, you can read just about anything from your cell phone or computer or iPad. History isn't just about remembering dates, it's about discovering secrets, solving mysteries, and understanding how people long ago lived, how they thought, and how they created amazing things. Buzz ruffled his feathers. That actually sounds exciting. Bertie grinned. Exactly. History isn't boring if you ask the right questions. Stay curious, and you'll always have something new to discover. The three brothers pawed in agreement, their minds now filled with images of ancient people pressing words into clay, words that would last far longer than even the strongest crow's nest. And that is the end of that story today.